Sunderland were almost there, one step away from pulling off the sort of transfer that can change the perception of a club overnight. Inside the corridors of the Stadium of Light, the feeling in January was that the Black Cats had identified one of La Liga's most explosive emerging talents before the rest of Europe fully caught on. The target was Victor Munoz, a winger whose performances in Spain were already turning heads. For a brief moment, it looked as though Régis Le Bris and his recruitment team might secure him for a fee that, in hindsight, now feels like a bargain in the modern market. The move unfolded during the frantic final hours of the winter transfer window. Sunderland had already been active in the market for wide players, eventually bringing in Nilson Angulo from Anderlecht and Jocelyn Tarbi from Maccabi Netanya to strengthen the flanks. Angulo naturally operates from the left, Tarbi from the right, and both signings gave Le Bris additional tactical options. But before those deals were completed, Sunderland had focused their attention on Munoz at Osasuna. The first approach was direct and serious, a €20 million offer designed to test the Spanish club's resolve. Osasuna resisted. Sunderland returned with a stronger proposal, €25 million plus a loan deal that would have sent Eliezer Mayenda to Spain until the end of the season. Even that was not enough. Both the player and Osasuna closed the door, convinced that Munoz's trajectory was only heading upwards. To understand why Sunderland pushed so hard, you only need to look at the numbers behind Victor Munoz's season. Since Osasuna purchased 50% of his rights from Real Madrid for €5 million in July 2025, the two-year-old has become one of the most productive wide players in their squad. Across 29 matches and 2,196 minutes of football, he has delivered 5 goals and 5 assists. Yet those numbers only tell part of the story when you consider his pace, direct running and ability to destabilise defences in transition. Now there is an even bigger development that explains why Sunderland's January pursuit suddenly looks so prophetic. Spain manager Luis de la Fuente is reportedly considering Munoz for his first ever senior call-up. With Athletic Club star Nico Williams injured ahead of the upcoming international break, the Osasuna winger has emerged as a serious candidate to step into the squad for matches including the Finalissima against Argentina. For a player who has never represented Spain at youth level, it would mark a remarkable rise. This is where Sunderland's dilemma begins. The club identified the opportunity early, but the market rarely waits. Munoz is under contract with Osasuna until 2030, and his deal includes a €40 million release clause. When Sunderland offered €20 million and then €25 million in January, the Spanish side reportedly pointed directly to that clause as their reference point. At the time, there may still have been room for negotiation. Now, with a player potentially on the verge of becoming a Spanish international, that €40 million figure is beginning to look less like a barrier and more like a statement of value. From Sunderland's perspective, the question now becomes strategic. Do they return in the summer and break their transfer record for a player they believe could thrive in the Premier League? Or do they accept that the opportunity they spotted first may now turn into a far bigger financial race? And that brings the conversation back to the supporters. Sunderland were prepared to go to €25 million in January for a player who may soon wear the Spain shirt. With the release clause set at €40 million and his reputation rising rapidly, the window that once existed is closing fast. So here is the question every Black Cats fan should be asking right now. Should the club have triggered the €40 million clause back in January when the opportunity was there, or does that price now look fair for a winger who could soon be a full Spanish international?